Nebraska goes to the floor. Ohio State is on the horse, and Penn State up on the ring. Penn State up on the rings. And brought the Nittany Lions so confident when they arrived here in Lincoln a few days ago. Started off slowly in the first rotation. Let's see if he and Shelley can pick things up.
They're a very strong team. I really feel like even though they did poorly on the pommel horse, that if they can really put it together for the next few events, they can get back in the running. Sure.
You know, they were number one in both polls since December, and Coach Shire said he liked that position because as a champion, you get the benefit of the doubt.
So far, it's a good exercise. He does a whip it to a cross. A little bit of trouble on the press to handstand. Nobody seems like they're really taking charge yet. I haven't quite seen the championship type performance yet. There's a front giant. Okay, now.
Problems right there. Wobble. Did he touch the strap?
Yeah, he touched the strap, which is a huge deduction. Full twisting double back, but that's going to hurt them.
He and Shelley, problems on the rings. Not exactly what Carl Shire expected from one of his stars. He seemed to have trouble in the middle of his routine. What happened?
Well, here's the front giant swing. He had good swing, good position. It looked like he bent his arms a little bit too much to be too cautious, to check the handstand. That got him crooked and, of course, had to put his foot on the straps. And then it's very difficult to regain the balance that you need to hold a very steady handstand.
And the troubles continue for Penn State. This is Nebraska's Wes Suter. And what a weekend he's already had, winning the all-around title earlier and following in the footsteps of some of Nebraska's former champions. But when Wes Suter competes, he's not just performing for himself in Nebraska, he's also competing for his sick dad.
I'd like to do really well for him this meet. He's had cancer for like 11 years, so that's been really pretty tough, but I've learned to deal with it, and my dad's such a great inspiration. He's, tried all kinds of different cancer things, and he's got such a belief in God. It's just amazing. He's really a phenomenal guy.
I think it's important that you look at positive things, because I think that can drag a family down if you look at the negative aspects of it. And so as a family, we've always looked at the positive, tried to look at the positive aspects.
Wes's mother also follows her son's career, a tightly knit family sharing each other's struggles.
I think they get a little more nervous than I do out there, as a matter of fact. I think most parents are the same way.
Wes and Ken Suter, father and son bound together, each inspiring the other. Wes Suter about to begin the floor exercise for Nebraska in the team competition.
What an interesting mount. He did a 1.5 twisting back somersault, punch to immediate full twisting dive roll. Very unusual beginning.
Wes Suter, of course, the all-around champion. He won that earlier. And Bart, you get the sense that Wes is growing into the leadership role that Nebraska would like him to do?
Absolutely. In fact, he's impressed me a great deal, that he's carrying on the traditions of the Jim Hartungs, Scott Johnsons, and Phil Cahoys in being the consistent performer that the Nebraska team can count on every time.
Of course, he is the man now. Chris Riegel is gone, so he has to carry the load for Nebraska.
Nice work. A front to a front 1.25. Interesting side pass.
Talking to Wes the other day, he talked about being nervous before a meet. I don't see any evidence at all of that here.
He seems very comfortable in front of his home crowd. Here's his last tumbling run. Round off back handspring, high tuck double back, one step, but a very great exercise. Let's look at the double full in the middle of the routine. It's not one of the most difficult skills, but he does it so nicely. Nice and high, perfect position in the twist, and spotted the landing effortlessly.
A fine routine for Wes Suter, 9.7. Nebraska performing up to potential, but what about Penn State, who had hoped this championship would be the forum to recapture former glories?
The reason that I went back to Penn State as an alumni from there, from the Air Force Academy, to take the job, to see that program would continue at its high levels always, and as much as we could do to see that occur. And so this 10th win, we hope, here is quite significant to us to prove that point, that another coach can do it at Penn State and keep the quality program over these years as we have.
Shire has definitely kept Penn State's quality program, Bart Conner, but yet they have not won a championship under him.
You know what they need now is they need one performer to go out there and really bang out a routine. I think the team has lost some of its momentum. The guys are down. There isn't that spirit of championship winning performances.
And this is Chris Laux on the rings for Nittany Lions, the 18-year-old sophomore from Niagara Falls, New York.
He is very, very strong. He began his exercise with a straight press. There's an inverted cross and a kip to a regular cross. That takes an amazing amount of strength.
And he was Penn State's top performer all year long in this event.
A back roll to an L. The hollow back press to a handstand. Good control. This is a good exercise. This is the type of performance they need. Nice giant, full twisting double, and a great landing. Okay, that'll help.
Bart Conner, let's take a look at the dismount again.
You know, it's unusual to see a gymnast who is so strong and yet can also swing this nicely. Look at the beautiful position in the air, spots the landing and drops it right in.
Chris Laux, 9.5 for Penn State, consistent on the rings all year long. He hits his average. Okay, now it's Steve Bradley, Ohio State, a junior from Franklin, Ohio.
He swings very nicely on horse. Look at the straight body position. Traveling up the horse without the pommels. Back down to the end. He's crawling all over it. Nice flared work. Here's the single leg work. Scissors. Pick back up into circles, a 3/4 Bailey. Loop to handstand. Good exercise.
You know, the horse is a fine event for Steve Bradley in particular, and Ohio State in general. Why are they so good on the horse?
I think one of the main reasons, as we talked earlier, is they're very strong. They're a very physical team. And whenever you get in trouble or you're a little bit nervous, it's nice to have a little bit of arm to put on there and really handle it. Put yourself back into position.
And he certainly has the arm. Steve Bradley, 3-time high school All-American from Ohio State. 9.8. Yes, Ohio State, unlike Penn State, very consistent early in the competition. As you said, Bart Conner.